Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Friday, May 30th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Friday in Major League Baseball. First up, we get the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Chicago Cubs. We got Andrew Abbott and Colin Ray as the starters. Now, last week, these teams met at Great American, and in one of those games, I mentioned that I like the Cubs in the full game, but if you like the Reds, I would just take them in the first 5 innings because I think the Cubs could make a comeback, and we actually saw that happen. The Reds had an 8-4 lead, and the Cubs stormed back and won 11-8, but I could see something similar in this one, but I'd like the Reds in the first 5 innings. It's going to be my play. The first 5 money line. I think that Andrew Abbott has proven, really great start to the season. 4-0, sub-2 ERA. Cubs are a good lineup against lefties, but not necessarily the strongest numbers in the month of May. Still very good numbers, but not what we saw in the month of April. And Colin Ray's coming off one of his worst starts of the season, giving up 6 runs in 5 innings against these Cincinnati Reds. And then that was at Great American. He has struggled at Great American in the past, but I still think that the Reds lineup had a nice series against the Royals. They were even competitive in this series last week, and I think they can get to Ray for a few runs, and Abbott can go, he pitched really well against Chicago last week. I think he can be solid in this one. Give me the Reds in the first 5 innings on the money line. Next up, we got the Brewers and the Phillies. We got Taijuan Walker and Quinn Priester as the starters. I like the over in this one. I think that the Phillies, with Walker on the mound, coming off a doubleheader, I don't love their pitching staff in this game. I think that Walker is not a great starting pitching option, despite his very misleading numbers on paper with a sub-3 ERA. The expected numbers are through the roof, and there's a reason why they've been very hesitant in putting him back in that starting rotation, because it is basically a ticking time bomb, in my opinion, with Walker as a starter, at least in his current form. And when you look at Quinn Priester, we mentioned he's had a good start to the season. He's been solid as of late, but he's still, the Brewers are 1-4 in his last 5 starts. His expected numbers aren't great. The Phillies are a tough matchup. I think we see a lot of runs in this one. I'm going to roll with the over. Next up, we got the Chicago White Sox taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Sean Burke and Zach Eflin as the starters. I like another over in this one. Zach Eflin right now just not pitching the way he needs to be for the Orioles to try to get back in that American League playoff race. They're well under 500, and the pitching staff has been the big reason. The offense, Adley Rutschman, sub 700 OPS, certainly not helping things, but the starting rotation, the bullpen have just been miserable, and Eflin's not pitching well so far. 0-2 with an ERA above 8 at Camden Yards so far this season. And then you got Sean Burke, who I've mentioned, he had a really good start to the year, still has decent numbers on paper, but he's got one of the steepest expected ERAs in all of Major League Baseball for starting pitchers that qualify in terms of 50-plus innings. So I think we see a really high-scoring game, probably a high-scoring series, but give me the over in White Sox-Orioles. Next up, we've got the Athletics and the Blue Jays. We got Jeffrey Springs and Chris Bassett as the starters. For me, this is a really tough game because both of these teams, both of these starting pitchers, they've been very inconsistent in the month of May and overall this season. Springs has got good numbers on paper, but we've seen him, he had his early season struggles. He was razor sharp in his last game against the Phillies. Wasn't his best outing. Still was a quality start on paper. 6 innings of 3 earned run baseball with 6 strikeouts. Ended up being, though, an A's loss, and they've lost 3 of his last 4. Bassett, another guy, good numbers on paper. Good numbers at Rogers Center at 1.61 ERA, but his last start giving up 5 earned runs. He's given up 5 home runs combined his last 5 games. I know he's been a lot better at home, but Springs has been better on the road with an ERA below 3, with a 4-1 record to go with it. I'm going to lean towards the A's in this one because I do think when you look at the Blue Jays' struggles offensively against lefties, it opens the door for Springs to put together a good start. And I think that the A's can find a few runs off of Bassett, especially extra base hits and home runs. So give me the A's in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Guardians. We got Jose Soriano and Luis Ortiz as the starters. Now, I think that Soriano could be the better starting pitching option in this game, but I think that the Guardians have such a big bullpen advantage in this series that it's tough for me to get there with the Angels, even in the first 5, because I could see Ortiz putting together a good outing. He definitely struggled in his last start with his control, but overall, I think he's been trending in the right direction. And I think, like I said, the Guardians' bullpen advantage, while the Guardians' bullpen so far this season has not been as dominant as it was last year, I still think that this is a much better pen, especially in the high leverage situations in the late innings. than what the Angels have. So while the Angels offense has been there in the month of May, I don't love their chances in this game. I'm going to go with the Guardians in the money line at home. Next up, we go to Citi Field as the Mets take on the Rockies. We got Kyle Freeland and David Peterson, pair of lefties on the mound in this one. Two offenses that in the month of May have not done very well against left-handed pitching, especially Colorado, which makes sense. They have struggled in general offensively in 2025. Peterson's been strong at Citi Field. Freeland actually coming off a solid outing. I think he's trending in the right direction. Mets have a great bullpen. The Rockies' bullpen's been better than expected, even though the Rockies have a miserable record on paper. It's not really because of the bullpen. It's been more so the starting rotation and the offense. I mean, the offense has been miserable. So give me the under in Rockies-Mets. We saw the Rockies playing some low-scoring, close games against the Cubs at Wrigley. I think this is going to be a close, low-scoring game. Next up, we've got the San Francisco Giants taking on the Miami Marlins. We've got Kyle Harrison and Cal Quantrill as the starters. Now, in the month of April, even though he had an ERA above 7, the Marlins went 3-2 in Cal Quantrill starts. In the month of May, it's been even better, 3-1 with a 3.06 ERA. The Marlins are 3-1, and he's got that sub-4 ERA. It's not always pretty, but Quantrill's been giving the Marlins some much-needed outs, and the bullpen's been better than it was in the first month of the year. The Marlins bats, they've not been great against lefties, but we just saw them get to Kyle Hart for 5 runs and a win, outright win for Miami in that game. Kyle Harrison's a pretty solid starting pitching option, but I think that the value lies with the Marlins. I mean, the Giants are coming off a miserable series against the Detroit Tigers where they were swept, and it really was just, A.J. Hinch completely out-managing Bob Melvin. And, the bullpen advantage that San Francisco had in that third game, I mean, Tigers didn't have Will Vest, and the Giants had every single reliever available, and yet in a 3-0 lead, they weren't able to hold on to it because Melvin kept in Landon Roop too long, and that was all the Tigers needed to take advantage, take the lead, and not look back. I just think that the Giants are headed in the wrong path right now, and I'm going to roll with the Marlins in this one at a great price. Next up, we got the Boston Red Sox taking on the Atlanta Braves. We got Lucas Giolito and Grant Holmes as the starters. Now, I've mentioned many times, I think Grant Holmes is a great option in this Braves rotation, but I don't love this Braves offense. I like the fact that Giolito's in good form. He's pitched better on the road than at Fenway Park. I know the Red Sox have been really tough to back recently. They've just been playing, bad baseball, but I think this could be a breakout game, maybe series for the Red Sox. I still trust their lineup against right-handed pitching. I still think they have a solid bullpen, and with the Braves coming off the doubleheader, I think it's a good spot for Boston. So I'm going to roll with the Red Sox in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Cardinals and the Rangers. We got Matthew Liberatore and Jack Leiter as the starters. The Rangers just really struggling offensively. They didn't do much of anything. I mean, they had one base hit in the last game against the Blue Jays, and they were shut out 2-0. And Liberatore, a lefty facing a Rangers team, has got some of the worst numbers in baseball against lefties in the month of May. Liberatore has had a really good start to the season, sub-3 ERA. Now he's been better at Busch Stadium, but still sub-4 ERA on the road. I think he has a good outing, and Leiter's control's been an issue recently. I'm rolling with the Cardinals in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Kansas City Royals. Casey Mize and Seth Lugo are the starters. Mize in his return, 5 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. I was a little bit worried about his start, going into it, returning from the injury, but he pitched really well. Now you got Lugo coming back from injury. He was in great form before the injury. I think he pitches well in this one. He's at a sub-3 ERA at Kauffman Stadium this year. I like both of these bullpens, and I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it could be a similar series for Detroit when they played San Francisco. I think that Matt Cortero may have a better outing or better series than Bob Melvin did and make it more competitive. But I think we're going to see, really just low-scoring, competitive games where a couple of decisions made by the managers for their bullpen management could make the difference. So give me in this first game the under in Royals-Tigers. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. We got Ryan Pepiot and Framber Valdez as the starters. Now, Pepiot definitely a step in the right direction with his last start against the Blue Jays. No home runs given up, no runs given up, 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, and a 13-0 win. But I do think that Framber has an advantage in this game because he didn't have to face the Rays in the most recent series between these two at Steinbrenner Field, and Pepiot did face the Astros. He had a quality start, but still gave up 8 base hits and a home run. Ended up being a 4-3 Astros win. And the Rays are 1-4 in Pepiot's last 5 starts. I think that Framber can put together the better outing in this one. I think both starting pitchers could pitch well, but the Astros have been so strong offensively against righties at home. They just saw Pepiot. I think it's a bad spot for him. So give me the Astros in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the San Diego Padres. We got Mitch Keller and Nick Pivetta as the starters. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Pirates. They've been competitive recently. I mean, they've not lost a series in their last three. They took 2 of 3 against the Reds, tied 2-2 with their division rival Brewers, who have just dominated the Pirates over the years. You look at some of the season series records for Milwaukee over Pittsburgh in the last decade, or really last 20 years, just complete dominance. But the Pirates were competitive in that one, and then they took 2 of 3, the final 2 of 3. Against the Diamondbacks in Arizona, and in one of those games, they were getting plus money with Paul Skeens on the mound. The books, I mean, we're getting really good prices with Pittsburgh right now, and they're playing competitive ball. They scored 19 runs in their last 2 games. You got Mitch Keller, who's a serviceable veteran starting pitcher that has been okay. I mean, in 1-6 record, but a sub-4 ERA to go with it. Pivetta's given up at least 1 home run his last 5 starts. O'Neill Cruz, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. I could see a Cruz missile or 2 in this one, enough to propel the Pirates to victory. I know the Padres have a great bullpen, but Pittsburgh's been competitive there. I'm rolling with Pittsburgh in this one at a great price, plus the 1.5 on the money line. Next up, we've got the Washington Nationals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've got Jake Irvin and Merrill Kelly as the starters. Now, we just talked about how the Diamondbacks, a disappointing series with Pittsburgh, as the Pirates took 2 of 3 in the second game of that series. I know a lot of you guys were really disappointed. We took Arizona, laid the 1.5 runs, looked like an easy winner. They were up 6-0 in the middle innings, and then the Pirates came all the way back and took a 9-6 lead, and they won that game 9-6. Just an unbelievable loss for the Diamondbacks, but I do expect to bounce back this series, especially in this first game. I think it's going to be a competitive series overall, but this first game, I like their chances to really run up the score. I like the team total over for Arizona. They've got one of the best lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching. You're at a hitter-friendly ballpark like Chase Field, and you're up against a pitcher in Jake Irvin, who's got a good numbers on paper, 3.42 ERA in 68 1/3 innings, but a 4.92 expected ERA, and he's in the bottom 20th percentile in a lot of key underlying numbers like chase percentage, whiff percentage, hard hit percentage, barrel percentage. He is going to regress quite a big way, in my opinion, and I think the Diamondbacks are the perfect team to get to him. So we also saw Irvin face these Diamondbacks more towards the beginning of the season in the month of April at Nationals Park, and he did not pitch well in that game. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, a couple of homers, ended up being a 6-4 Diamondbacks win. So give me the team total over for Arizona. Next up, we got the Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. We got Zebby Matthews and Brian Wu as the starters. I think we see a low-scoring game. I like the under, but I also like the Twins to win it. I think they have the bullpen advantage in this series. I like the fact that they had the day off on Thursday, unlike Seattle, who had to play against the Nationals. And, Brian Wu's been one of the best pitchers in the American League, but he did give up 9 base hits in his last start. You got Zebby Matthews, who really bounced back in a big way in his last game against the Royals. 9 strikeouts in just 4 innings of work, and he hasn't given up a home run yet. I know his ERA on paper looks steep, but that's just 2 starts. He was pitching really well in the minor leagues. He's got good control, and he worked on that in the second outing, only 1 walk in the 4 innings. I like the Twins and the under in this one. Next up, we've got the Yankees and the Dodgers, the game of the night, the series of the weekend, the rematch of the 2024 Fall Classic. Max Fried and Tony Gonsolin are your projected starters. Of course, the Dodgers are your reigning champions, but the Yankees are playing great baseball right now with a 35-20 record, and a big part of that is Max Fried, who's got a 7-0 record and a 1.29 ERA, the best in baseball among qualifying starting pitchers. And I know Skubal is the favorite to win the AL Cy Young, but if Fried continues to pitch this way, he's going to be right up there in the odds. And Fried's been excellent on the road, 4-0 with a sub-1 ERA away from home. We saw him almost throw a no-hitter against the Rays at Steinbrenner Field. And I think he has a great outing here. I know the Dodgers have been a solid lineup against lefties, more than solid, a very good lineup against left-handed pitching in the month of May, but the Yankees have been good against righties. I think Fried's a much better starting pitching option in this game. The Dodgers have a ton of injuries with their bullpen right now. I think the Yankees have the upper hand in that one. Give me the Yankees on the money line on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, Romanelli. Good luck.